Hi, my name is Hoby Paulk, and welcome to You Are the Vision. My guest this evening is Gary Caposta. Gary has been studying nutrition for the last 45 years, and he knows what he's talking about. Our subject is going to be overpowering cravings. Everyone out there knows I've had just a few too many in my life. I don't know how many times in my life, Gary, I've sit there and said, I'm quitting tomorrow. That's it. I'm done. And the next day, there I was, drinking again.
10 drinks later.
10 drinks later, exactly. Tell me why. Why? Like I keep saying I want to quit, but then the next thing I know I'm drinking again. I mean, these cravings are just, as I mentioned, they're overpowering. Tell me what's going on.
Well, Obi, there's a very good chance that you are suffering from depleted levels of a very key chemical messenger in your brain that can affect things like cravings. And in fact, that chemical messenger is called serotonin. And when serotonin levels are low, people experience brutal cravings, savage cravings for things like junk food and drink carbohydrate, drugs, illegal or legal drugs, cigarettes. And the reason is, when you consume these foods or drinks, they cause the body to produce a sudden burst of this feel-good hormone, and that's the reason the body gets a good feeling from consuming those items, and you are drawn to them for that reason. You see, the body instinctively knows. That's why you hear the term when it comes to food, mood food. It's called comfort food. It makes you feel good. Sadly, the price people pay when it comes to junk food and drink is fat storage. In the case of drinking, it's
Too much.
it's drinking too much. Okay.
That's right. Well, now, so there's really not a lot of difference then between me, who reaches for the drink or the drug, and the person who reaches for the Twinkie.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And in fact, the ex-FDA commissioner is now touring the country, and he's made it his life's mission to inform people that certain food and drink has a drug-like effect on your body.
Well, wait a minute. If it has a drug-like effect on my body, in my case, it's a drug.
Right, but I mean, people are reticent to call food and drink a drug, but it absolutely has a drug-like effect, and that's the reason people are so drawn to it. There are some people that have such brutal cravings that they actually hide food. You know, alcoholics will hide alcohol.
Absolutely, you bet.
And there are people that hide food. I had a girlfriend, and her sister used to hide food, and so they are obviously drawn to this in a brutal way when you have to hide food. But they're getting temporary satisfaction from it, but they're paying a price for that temporary short-term fix.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the way my brain is set up. I mean, I go back all the way to when I was a kid. You know, my mother used to say, son, go mow the lawn, and then you can go play with your friends. Well, what I would do is go play with my friends. And then a couple hours later, she'd call me home and say, son, you didn't mow the lawn. Now mow the lawn, and you're on restriction. You can't play with your friends. So this my brain telling me to seek instant pleasure, in my case, ruined my weekend. Because I wouldn't mow the lawn, I'd go play with my friends. So I kind of started off thinking that way, you know, and I think most of us do. I mean, no, we think about the fun, you know, not the work, the fun. So anyway, but as I progressed in years, the playing with the friends became drinking. Mm-hmm. You know, countless people said to me, you know, you're drinking too much. And of course, my feeling was, you're not drinking enough. You know, but the truth is, once I became honest with myself, it was causing a lot of disaster. It was causing just a disaster in my life. I mean, I left a path of disaster with family members and friends, etc. So I would have quit. I mean, I lost the will to drink long before I quit drinking. I think most of you out there that I feel that you probably feel the same way when it comes to food. You've lost the will to eat, but you continue to eat. I mean, so what can we do?
What you've got to do is support healthy levels of brain chemistry, particularly serotonin. Because serotonin, we have a number of neurotransmitters, maybe as many as 50. But serotonin is like the conductor of an orchestra. And if serotonin gets out of balance or out of timing, the whole orchestra starts playing out of time. So the key neurotransmitter to deal with is serotonin. And you have serotonin, dopamine, norepinephrine. Dopamine is one of the neurotransmitters affected when people drink sodas. Dopamine is the most implicated neurotransmitter in addictive behavior. So you don't see people drinking one soda a day.
Right.
You see them drinking 8. Think of it.
Yeah.
178 million cans of soda are consumed every day in America.
My goodness.
This is a stunning number. This is a stunning number.
Is that right?
And because it leaches magnesium from your system and all that sugar, the average person will be able to stomach a soda because they're so sweet. So they put the phosphoric acid, that's what gives it the tart taste, so that you can keep it down. We know that sugar is the preferred source of fuel for the cancer cells. All of these things start contributing to the what we call corrupted food supply that's caused us. So look at 1940. Do you know in 1940 there was 0 heart doctors in America? 1950 there was 500. Last year in the United States there was 35,000 registered cardiologists performing 1 million open heart surgeries.
Oh my goodness, is that right?
And this is just one example of what's happened to the health in this country. And so we know that the healthcare costs are spiraling out of control. No
Yeah, that's right,
government,
absolutely.
no economy can shoulder the burden of the healthcare costs. And the best way to bring down healthcare costs is to improve health. The best way to improve health is to improve the quality of the food and drink that we take in.
Well, now, okay, people have said to me, and you know, so many throughout the years, how come you don't have enough willpower? Why don't you have enough willpower to quit drinking? I mean, can't you see the problems it's causing around you? Well, once again, I wasn't really being totally honest with myself, so I was limited on how much the problems I saw around me, but I knew it was causing problems. I mean, you can't get 4 DUIs and several drunken publics and ended up in the position I ended up in without knowing that you had some kind of a problem. So most people are looking at me like, don't you have enough willpower?
Well, willpower is nothing more than serotonin levels. If your serotonin levels are healthy, you're going to have willpower. If they're low, you're not going to be able to resist the brutal temptations that are caused by overpowering craving. It's that simple. People look at themselves, they feel like, you know, I'm a loser. I don't have the discipline. I don't have the willpower. They beat up on themselves.
Right,
That
right,
is
right.
the absolute last and wrong thing to do, because it is nothing more than brain chemistry. And you can take the most powerful person in the world and tweak their brain chemistry, and you can change their personality, the way they behave. And that's what it's all about. You're talking about what is willpower? It's behavior.
Right, right,
That's
right.
what it is. It's behavior. And so that's why, as we have discussed earlier, the most important issue right now facing the country is this whole brain function issue. It's key to changing habits that we have here that have been destructive for not just you, but the society in general, whether it's overeating the wrong kind of food, drinking too much, doing too many drugs.
Well, okay, yeah. See, if I wake up, I'm trying to think of exactly my thinking along those lines. When I wake up in the morning, 2 given mornings, same set of problems, same job, same life, nothing's changed. One morning I wake up and I go, gosh, I can get anything done today, man. I mean, I feel like I got the same problems that I had the day before, but I feel like I could solve them. I can attack. I can go out there and take on the world. There's other days that I wake up that I woke up in my life where I just thought, you know, gosh darn, man, I can't handle this. I can't deal with this.
Well, that's really well put. You know, a friend of mine wrote a song, and it really typifies what we're talking about. We're talking about the brain chemistry issue, and that song was, his name is Johnny Nash. He wrote a song called I Can See Clearly Now.
Oh, I remember the song, absolutely.
I can see clearly now, the rain is gone.
Yeah, I remember that.
I can see all obstacles in my, okay?
Yeah.
And if you listen to the words that Johnny wrote there, they're beautiful. He actually had gone down to Jamaica. Johnny actually brought Bob Marley back to the United States. He had gone down to Jamaica, and I Can See Clearly Now has a reggae beat to it. And he was dealing with some things at the time, and that song typifies a person going from those dark, cloudy days into the sunlight. And that very same thing happens when you start addressing and adjusting brain chemistry. You go from that overwhelming, cloudy, not knowing where you're going view to that I can see all
clear.
obstacles in my way. I can see clearly now. Big difference.
Absolutely, that's fantastic. I can see clearly now on this subject that Gary and I are discussing.